Welcome to Daily English Room. Today's topic is fashion. Do you care about fashion?
Yes, I care a lot about fashion. As a graphic designer, visual expression is a big part of my life, and that extends to how I dress. I love experimenting with different styles, especially mixing elements of Japanese and Western fashion. For me, fashion is another creative outlet, almost like a daily art project. It's fun to see how clothing can influence mood and confidence, both in personal and professional settings.
How important are clothes in fashion to you?
Clothes and fashion are very important to me, both personally and professionally. As a graphic designer, I see fashion as another form of visual expression and creativity. I love experimenting with different styles and using my outfits as a way to showcase my personality. In Japan, especially in creative industries, your appearance can say a lot about your design sensibilities. I also find that what I wear affects my mood and confidence, which in turn impacts my work. Fashion is a huge source of inspiration for me. I often draw ideas for my design work from fashion trends and street style. While I don't think everyone needs to be fashion-obsessed, for me, it's an integral part of my self-expression and professional identity.
How often do you buy clothes?
I love fashion, so I tend to buy clothes quite often, probably 2 or 3 times a month. However, I'm conscious about overconsumption, so these aren't always big purchases. Sometimes it's just a unique accessory or a vintage piece I've found. I also participate in clothing swaps with friends every couple of months, which is a fun way to refresh my wardrobe without always buying new items.
How do you keep up with the fashion trend?
As a graphic designer interested in pop culture, keeping up with fashion trends is both a hobby and a part of my job. I follow a lot of fashion accounts on Instagram and Pinterest, both Japanese and international. I also regularly check fashion websites and blogs. Tokyo's street fashion is always evolving, so I love observing what people wear in trendy areas like Harajuku or Shibuya. Fashion weeks in Tokyo, New York, and Paris are also big sources of inspiration for me.
What do you think about people who don't care about fashion?
As someone who loves fashion, I sometimes find it hard to understand people who don't care about it at all. But I respect that everyone has different interests and priorities. Fashion is a form of art and self-expression for me, but I recognize that others might express themselves through different mediums. I do think that fashion, at its core, is about more than just clothes. It's about culture, identity, and sometimes even social statements. So while someone might not care about trending styles, their choice of clothing still says something about them, even if unintentionally.
What influences your clothing purchases the most?
As a graphic designer passionate about pop culture, my clothing purchases are heavily influenced by current trends, especially those blending Japanese and Western styles. I'm always looking for unique pieces that make a statement. Color and pattern are huge factors for me. I love clothes that play with interesting visual elements. Comfort is important too, especially for long days at the design studio. I'm also influenced by the story behind the clothes. I'm drawn to independent designers and brands that have interesting concepts or sustainable practices. Lastly, versatility influences my choices. I like pieces that I can style in multiple ways for both work and social occasions.
Do you think it is easier to shop for clothes online or in physical stores?
As a graphic designer who loves fashion, I enjoy both online and in-store shopping, but for different reasons. Online shopping is easier for keeping up with trends and finding unique pieces from international brands. It's also great for researching and comparing styles. However, I find physical stores easier for actually making purchases, especially for statement pieces or anything with an unusual cut. Being able to try things on and see how they look in person is invaluable, particularly for the bold, fashion-forward styles I love. Plus, shopping in trendy districts like Harajuku gives me inspiration that I can't get online. So while online is easier for research, I find physical stores easier for the actual buying process.
What type of clothes do you like?
I absolutely adore fashion that pushes boundaries and mixes different styles. I'm a big fan of Japanese street fashion, especially styles that blend traditional Japanese elements with modern, Western-inspired looks. I love experimenting with layers, unusual silhouettes, and eye-catching accessories. Harajuku-style fashion really appeals to me. It's bold, creative, and allows for so much self-expression. I also appreciate high-quality basics that I can mix and match with my more statement pieces. For work, I like clothes that are professional but still creative, often incorporating interesting patterns or unique design elements. Overall, I'm drawn to clothes that tell a story or make a statement. Fashion is another canvas for my creativity as a graphic designer.
Are there any clothing items that you dislike to wear?
Even though I love experimenting with fashion, there are some items I dislike wearing. I'm not a fan of ultra-conservative, plain business suits. They feel too restrictive for my creative personality. I also dislike fast fashion items that fall apart after a few wears. I prefer quality pieces that last. Extremely high heels are another item I avoid. They're just not practical for my busy lifestyle, especially when I'm running around Tokyo for work or inspiration. I'm also not fond of overly cutesy or childish clothing styles. While they're popular in some Japanese fashion subcultures, I prefer a more sophisticated, edgy look.
Have you ever worn the traditional clothes?
Yes, I have worn traditional Japanese clothes on several occasions and I absolutely love them. I wear a yukata, which is a casual summer kimono, to summer festivals. For more formal events like coming-of-age ceremonies or weddings, I've worn a full kimono, which is an elaborate process requiring assistance to put on correctly. I'm fascinated by how these traditional garments have influenced modern fashion. In my work as a graphic designer, I often draw inspiration from the patterns and aesthetics of traditional Japanese clothing. I've even incorporated elements of kimono design into some of my modern outfits. While I don't wear full traditional dress often, I really enjoy the connection to Japanese culture and history it provides.
What's your go-to outfit for a casual day out?
My casual outfit usually involves mixing different styles. I might wear a vintage band t-shirt with a high-waisted skirt, or wide leg pants with a crop top. I love layering, so I'll often add a denim or leather jacket. Accessories are key. Maybe some chunky boots and quirky earrings to finish the look.
How has your style evolved over the years?
Oh, my style has been quite a journey. In my teens, I was all about following trends and fitting in. But as I got into graphic design and became more immersed in Tokyo's creative scene, I started to see fashion as a form of self-expression. I went through a phase of very avant-garde, attention-grabbing outfits. Now, I've settled into a style that blends creative flair with professionalism. I mix unique, statement pieces with more classic items. I've also become more conscious about the quality and origin of my clothes, focusing on supporting local designers and sustainable brands.
If you could only keep 3 items from your current wardrobe, what would they be and why?
First, my vintage leather jacket. It goes with everything and adds an edge to any outfit. Second, my favorite graphic print dress that I designed myself. It's unique and represents my creative skills. Lastly, my most comfortable pair of chunky boots. They're practical for walking around Tokyo and add character to my outfits.
How do you think technology will impact fashion in the future?
As a graphic designer, I'm thrilled about the possibilities technology brings to fashion. I think we'll see more digital fashion, where people can purchase virtual clothes for their online presence. Augmented reality could allow us to project different outfits onto ourselves in real time. 3D printing could revolutionize customization, allowing everyone to be their own designer. I also think we'll see more interactive clothing that can change patterns or colors based on our mood or environment. It's an exciting time for fashion and technology to merge.
If you could design your dream outfit, what would it look like?
My dream outfit would be a bold, artistic statement piece that showcases my design skills and love for Japanese street fashion. I'd start with an avant-garde dress featuring a digital print that I've designed myself, inspired by a fusion of traditional Japanese art and modern Tokyo cityscapes. The dress would have an asymmetrical hemline and incorporate some origami-inspired foldable elements that can change its shape. Over this, I'd wear a holographic jacket that changes color depending on the angle and lighting. For shoes, I'd go for platform boots with clear soles filled with miniature moving art pieces. Accessories would include oversized, geometric earrings that double as Bluetooth earphones, and a clutch bag that unfolds into a functional laptop sleeve. The entire outfit would be made from eco-friendly, recycled materials, merging my love for bold fashion with my growing commitment to sustainability.
That's all for today's daily English room conversation practice. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this video, like, leave a comment, and hit the subscribe button. See you next time.